Hey, how's it going? I'm glad you made it. So good to see you again. Today, I was just thinking I finally have some downtime. Mom mode is off. Little one is upstairs taking her nap today. So, come on in. Let's sit down, play some Sims 4, maybe have something cozy to drink. We got coffee, we got tea, we got bubble water, we got lemonade, whatever suits you, whatever floats your boat, your Bert. I'm just so glad you're here today. I want to introduce you to some lovely people, so stay with me. I just really wanted to make a cozy grandpa house. That was what I wanted. I found this really amazing custom content pack that I just had to download. I saw it back in July. Someone had featured it and I just knew okay, I really want to build with that. And so I'm not going to be using any other custom content today besides that particular pack. And I'll introduce you to that soon enough, but let's meet our Sims first. Okay. So our first Sim, this is Alfonso Woodard Sr. and his wife, Burdette Woodard. And we'll talk about Alfonso first because he is a character and I love him. I love this whole family. So his backstory, he is married to Burdette for a very long time, very faithful and loyal. That's his one and only, which is a little bit surprising because a lot of the people that he maybe used to hang out with in his younger days weren't quite so. Oh, hi, Burdette. You want to be the center of attention? I'm going to pause them. Weren't quite so loyal maybe to their families and to their spouses because he used to be he still is a very talented musician in Motown type bands. So for some of the heavy hitters, he would kind of rotate through when they would have different shows that would be nearby. So he is very well seasoned and he still loves music. And I'm going to be building him a music studio in the garage that we're going to be building soon enough. So yeah, that's Alfonso, but he goes by Al because he is senior, and you'll meet one of his sons that he shares a name with. That we have to have that distinction. So he's Al, and then we have Burdette, and as you can see, Burdette is the matriarch of the family. She is front and center. She is the backbone of this family, and I think she is a doll. Let's look at her profile here, is also family oriented. You'll actually find that most of the members of this family are family oriented. And we'll go more into depth about why and how that is. So, ma'am, are you trying to talk to Jeffrey Landgrab? No. That's not, we don't associate with people from that particular land grab family. Thank you. Anyway, so she is a foodie, as well as family oriented, as I said, and she's very cheerful. And the thing about Burdette is she loves a little bit of gossip as well. Who doesn't? And the part of the reason is because she basically has her finger on the pulse of Willow Creek, because since way back, right after she was out of college, she started working, and she, with her own money and her own two hands, while her husband was on the road traveling with the other musicians, she built a magnificent soul food restaurant that is still being run today by the family. And Al actually retired from traveling to be closer to his family, that he started working there too. So they all have a hand in the business, but it's primarily Birdette, her, she goes by Birdie, is primarily her baby. So she loves to cook, bake, anything to do with food. And because she is so famous with the locals and all of the areas, I mean, people come from all around the world to come to Birdie's soul food restaurant. So, you know, she kind of has all the ins and all the nos, you know, what's going on and who's kissing who and who's woo who and who's uncle. So she knows it all. So next, we're going to go down the road a little bit. I'm not sure why they're all the way down there. And this, he has a goofy grin. This is Alfonso Woodard Jr. Now, he is the firstborn child in this family. So he's a junior and he goes by Fonzo. So again, same name as dad, but he goes by Fonzo. So this Sim, he is married. Now, I did not make any spouses or children or grandchildren in this case of the core family here, simply because I didn't want to use any mods or anything like that to create a ton of children and spouses and pets and things like that for all of these Sims. So, but I will be in the next few videos, I will be making all of the children's homes and also Birdette's restaurant as well. So kind of have that to look forward to. But Fonzo, he is married. He has 4 children. And so he's very family oriented. He is going to be in the military career. And he's very outgoing, but he's also kind of a bro. So he loves sports. He's very gregarious, as you can see. So he has the gift of gab, and he is just the life of the party. So, I mean, there's not much else to say. You know, he's very, very, very handsome, like his father. And, you know, that's the way it is. So we're going to go to the next child. So this, he's talking to, is that neat? Oh, it's Katrina, Katrina Caliente. Okay. And these little children are taking notes, apparently. Very good. Well, oops. So this is Jamal. And Jamal, there we are. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to get to him. Jamal is a little bit different. The rest of the family is a little bit more extroverted, while Jamal is a little bit more introverted. Jamal loves research and debate. He is a bookworm. He's also a foodie, though, because he spent so much time in the restaurant. They all grew up there. They couldn't help but learn and appreciate the food and the recipes and things that mom has handed down. He's very loyal to his family. So I didn't want to really make him socially awkward, because I still think he has that kind of, you know, swagger as the kind of the same of his family, but he's just not as outgoing with strangers. He's a little bit more introverted, but he's very, very loyal and he loves his family fiercely. Now, I don't have anything planned for him as far as spouses or children are concerned, because I kind of feel like he's a doctor. And since he's the middle child, he probably, age-wise, probably just got out of his residency, his doctor residency. And so maybe when we build his home, we'll be kind of elaborating and seeing where that goes, you know, if he meets anybody nice, you know. And then, last but not least, let's turn you around. We have the beautiful, the voluptuous, the vivacious and vibrant. I don't know why I'm using all these V's, because her name doesn't start with a V at all, actually. But we have Christina Joy, and Christina Joy is the youngest and only daughter in the Woodard family. Now, I did keep her maiden name for now, but she is married, so I'll probably be changing her last name or hyphenating or something. But she is basically a chip off the old block of Al. She is, I hazard to guess, she might be Al's favorite, just because they're so similar. and she was kind of the youngest, so, and the only girl, so she was a little bit babied, a little bit, you know. But she is, well, her traits, she's family oriented. She is a mother. She has one daughter, and I wanted to make her a pregnant sim as well. However, again, I don't want to make spouses and things like that. So I will be putting that into motion as soon as we kind of start building her home and her family and things like that. But she's family oriented. So she, of course, she loves her family. Everything is family to her. She's actually going to be taking over the soul food restaurant, I would imagine, as, you know, her parents are retiring and they kind of don't want to be there full time anymore. I mean, she's there most of the time anyway and doing all the heavy lifting anyway already. So she's already taking it over. It's kind of in the process of. She's a foodie, of course, same reasons as the others, and she's a music lover. I mean, she was there with her dad. Her dad taught her how to play every instrument he knows, and I mean, she loves to sing, dance, all of it, you know. So that's Christina Joy in a nutshell. So now that I've introduced you to our lovely family here, we're going to go ahead and start making their home. Now, like I said, I did start making their home in another recording. And so I had the kitchen and dining room all furnished, but I lost some of that footage. So I'm just restarting. So we do have some things already in the home, and I've got some things picked out that we'll kind of like just quickly go through together. So I believe I can just do that very quickly with everybody and just kind of get it done for today's first part. We're not getting a lot done today. I'm sorry I couldn't show you my process of building everything and mapping out the floor plan and stuff, but I will be doing that in the next videos with new buildings. So let's go ahead and get into build mode and we'll start building. It is the next day for me. It'll just be a second for you guys, but my daughter woke up yesterday, so I had to tend to her and go back on mom duty. But it is the next day, and she is again upstairs taking her nap for today. So mom duty is off, and chill out, relax duty is on. So, as I said before, I had made this house and I did these 2 rooms previously on another recording that I made, but I lost that footage, unfortunately. So I have everything picked out that I wanted to put in these 2 rooms, and that's what we're going to be doing together today. But keep in mind, in my future recordings for the rest of this house and any other build I'm doing, we're going to be picking those things out together. For the most part. I mean, there might be some times when I just have a few things that I want or that I had in mind already picked out, like if it's a really large build or something. So let's go ahead and let's get everything assembled that we'd like here. And so you might notice that the decor, it's a little old-fashioned, like this linoleum and this tile, to even on this back porch area here, this wood paneling, and that's by design. Again, this is a grandma and grandpa house, and my experience with grandma and grandpa houses is that they don't really like to update their houses a lot. Now, that's not all grandma and grandpas. This is coming from a child who spent grandma and grandpa time in the 90s, and maybe there are more advanced grandma and grandpas now that kind of like to be more up to date. But this is my idea of a grandma and grandpa house. So I guess my thought process behind this is that Bertie and Al, they bought this house, when they were first married, and they kind of just loved it and they never changed it. It's of that era, it's of that time, and they have been spending so much time in the restaurant and raising their kids and their family that they just really didn't care, to really do much else with it. However, I think because we do have like a more updated fridge, I think that maybe that was one thing that they got that was fairly new, simply because, You know, they probably had an old-fashioned fridge that they had forever and they had it maintained for the longest time, but then it just came to the point where maybe the kids were like, okay, mom and dad, you know, you've had this for a long time. We're just going to get you a new one on us. Don't worry about it. Because I know, like, my grandma, for instance, she had this mentality of like, well, I'm going to keep what I have and stay the course. And then, you know, I'm not going to ever buy new things. Like, I think my grandma had her same vacuum cleaner, as she called it, same sweeper for like ever, like probably for 30 years or something. And she would have it maintained. And fun fact, I recently moved back to my hometown in the last year or so, like year and a half, after being in another state for like 10 plus years. And yeah, like that vacuum cleaner repair place is still there. And apparently it's still doing really well. So that kind of goes to show you, like, yeah, I live in a kind of a smaller city, not like a town. So yeah, but I mean, people, they use it and that they do live like this. So, you know, I gotta turn my move objects back on for this. Boop. There we go. And should I put that in a bit more? Oh no, I'm being fussy. Oh no. Someone stop her. She's being fussy. And I have this little towel rack as well. And now one thing I have, which you might notice, is under these cabinets, I have some task lighting. I'm actually using those ones, I think they're base game, and they are just like the photo frame picture perfect art lighting, I guess it's called. They're part of the painter career. But basically I have this under because it's a very specific touch I wanted to put in. My grandma, and also the house that I used to live in with my husband here in the other state I was living in for a while, it was an older kitchen, and my grandma also had this in her kitchen. It's these old fluorescent push tab button lights, or sometimes they'll have like even like a little tiny pull cord, and when you push the button or pull the cord, it like flashes on, and it's this awful yellow fluorescent light for task lighting. But I mean, that's what they had before we had all this nice LED stuff. So I'm gonna keep that because I think that's really nice to have. And I might put one under the stove as well, because I know that a lot of these range hoods also have a light underneath. So I think that'll be nice. Maybe I should change that to the black. It's a tiny detail. I don't even know if I can get to it. But I'll know it's there. So unless I'm already on the black. Let me see. And no. All right. And yes, I'm a fussy builder. I like to look at little tiny details like that. Some things we have to overlook because it's The Sims. But a lot of the time I like to kind of look and see what we can do to make it just that extra special. I also will change the lighting a lot, so I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I like to look to see sort of like what makes sense with the lighting in the room. I have these like boob lights, these boob ceiling lights for lighting, because I feel like that's pretty appropriate for this type of a build. So you really can't tell it's pretty bright in here, no matter if it's night or day. But, you know. All right, so now I'm going to put in some more cabinets. I can just eyedrop tool that. I'm gonna put some over here. And I'm gonna shuffle along a couple through here as well. And this, I have to kind of do that. There's no good way of doing that. It looks weird if you have the small one above there, in my opinion. So again, some things you have to overlook. Oh, I forgot I put some shelving here too. So there are these shelves with some cookbooks, some pickled peppers, some cleaning supplies on the very top shelf so the grandkids can't get to that and possibly hurt or poison themselves. Very important. We've got our trash can here, so I do have a trash can on this lot. I'll put one outside as well, and broom and dustpan here. So there's their brand new, well, brand new to them. It's probably going on like 5 to 8 years old now. Fridge kind of doesn't go with everything, but you know, that's kind of how life is sometimes. Like, not all of your appliances are going to match and be just brand new. You know, sometimes it's just kind of old. So I think we're good there. I have my nice pass-through window. This is like the best feature of the house, in my opinion. My grandma used to have a pass-through window in her home, and I don't think she ever used it, but I think they would probably use it in their house since they have such a big family, and they probably have like Sunday dinners every week and every holiday and birthday, and they just cook up a storm, and so they probably have Birdie passing through this stuff to the dining room, the food through the dining room. So yeah, that's the kitchen done, except for, oh, I forgot the kitchen mat. So I'm gonna have a rug in here, and it's this nice Afrocentric rug, and the reason I'm choosing this rug is because it just makes me feel so cozy. It reminds me of my grandma. So my grandma, and I don't know if this is every Black household, but in the 90s and still to this day, my aunt, who's probably in her 70s now, she has this kind of stuff. They like to put what they feel is Afrocentric stuff into their home. So it just makes me feel like home. It makes me feel good on my dad's side of the family, having all of those homes being cozy like that. And so we're going to have little touches of that throughout this home as well. And I think it's just uniquely African American like style. Like, it's just something that I feel, if you know, you know. So going on to the dining room, and we have this amazing wallpaper, and this wallpaper is from that custom content pack, that nostalgia living stuff that I was mentioning earlier, and this custom content is by A Winged Llama. This custom content pack is one of the best. It's for me. These wallpapers, I'm going to kind of show you some of them. I chose this one because I think it was the most appropriate for what I wanted, but they have some really just cute, kitschy, retro vibes. Like, look at that. Come on. There's this one, it has these little like kitchen things. I was debating on using this in the kitchen. Where is it now? Anyway, if I can find it. But yeah, this is just the cutest. Oh, here it is. Like, look at that. Look at that. Oh. Now, you know you've seen this in somebody. Like, if you've been to your grandparents' friend's house, you've seen this someplace, either on tiles or something like that. So I was debating putting it in here, but then I thought I don't want it to be all of that. I would love if maybe it had like a tile halfway up the wall and this like on the upper part, but alas, we don't have that. So I just went with this one. This one seems the nicest for a formal dining room. And also throughout the entire house, besides like the bathrooms and kitchen, we're going to have carpet. And the main reason is because I feel like these older homes always had wall-to-wall carpeting. It's just fairly new that we are ripping all that old carpet up. Now, I love not having carpet in the house because I have just traumatic stories about having carpet in homes, living in rental homes and things like that. And yes, they try to shampoo them, but I think sometimes you just can't get some of that out of there. But I would imagine that Birdie and Al, they have been taking immaculate care of their home. So while yes, everything is a little bit dated, they clean, scrub, maintain, maybe have the floor shampooed every year, you know, so it is immaculate and clean. So that's what we're here for. And so I'm going to go ahead and start putting in, oh, right. Before I forget, I wanted to put some of these Valance curtains on this window. So yeah, something I didn't mention is that I had these windows built. I didn't want to redo these bay windows because these bay windows are a pain to furnish. Because you have to like use the 9 key and size things with the tool mod. So I do have this, some little plants in the window in a pot and things like that in this window. And then there's also a bay window in the dining room, which you'll be seeing closer up here in a little bit. But yeah, that's the kitchen done with that. And let's really get started on the dining room. I'm gonna turn that off for now. And there we go. I'm gonna kind of shuffle this rug along so it's more centered. And there we go. And I think I might put this over the dining room table. Is that lined up? Yep, that's good. And I've got this little buffet slash bureau table. And again, this picture, some more Afrocentricity. There we go. Like, I love this painting from, I think it's Get Famous. Let me see. Is that what it's called? Since I have played every single, it's Get Famous. Every single iteration of The Sims. Pretty much. I mean, all of the main titles at least. I get all of the packs all confused because they all kind of blend together after a while. But I will say that The Sims 4, in my opinion, is one of the better titles. I know that's like scandalous. You're not supposed to say that, but I just think as far as building is concerned, and the way that everything looks, well, the way it has been looking compared to the other games, let's put it like that. It's an old game now, so we can't really say that to a point. We'll see how the next iteration goes, but I think it's one of the better ones. Gameplay is questionable and it is broken a lot. So, it's goods and bads. So this is another item from that custom content pack. It's these draperies. And I thought they were perfect. I think I remember my grandma having something like this in her living room with these just 90s, 80s, terrible, but just amazing. Just, it's just of the era. I can't even say that they're ugly, even though they are ugly, but like they're not. But the swatches on these are great. They have a bunch of patterns. There's like a couple of florals, as you can see, and then they've got a ton of just plain swatches as well. So I really like that, but I chose that because it does remind me of my grandma a lot. So I'm going to leave this blank because I kind of want them to be able to put like roast chicken or turkey or whatever. Since this is kind of a smaller table and there's only 6 settings, I want them to fully be able to use this table. And so if I put like a bunch of stuff in the middle, they may not be able to use it during their feasts and gameplay. So I'm going to leave that there. I've put this boombox in here. The story with this boombox, I'd like to think, is that the kids kind of pooled their money back in the 90s, and like with little odd jobs that they were doing and from working in the restaurant, and for their dad's birthday they got, or Christmas or something, they got him this Mega Beast boombox. And because Al loves music so much, he has to have some kind of music player in the living areas. And so during dinner, card playing, having some drinks, whatever, he likes to have his music. So he's been keeping this since that time. And I imagine in here all his tapes and CDs and things like that from that era. So I'm going to also put these. Now I'm going to fill these up with some family photographs. Once I make the spouses and the grandchildren, I'm going to be putting some photos of the family in here. And I'm putting them on a stagger because I remember my grandma. I know I'm going to be talking about my grandma. I miss my grandma. Like that. I remember them being like this, like kind of a stair step. And I don't know if that's just how she did it or if there's other people who've done it. I've seen it in other people's homes too. But it just makes me feel so cozy and home-y, you know. I think there's also, yeah, here it is. This photo of Bob and Eliza Pancakes. I'm pretty sure that's who it is, but it's ambiguous enough to be possibly someone else. So I'm going to pretend as if that's Bertie and Al's wedding photo. So I think we are fairly done in here. I was thinking maybe I should put something here, but I don't want to make it too crowded. Maybe a chair? Like a living chair of some kind. I don't know. Let's play around and see. I didn't have anything planned for that. When I decided to redo this recording, I kind of bumped out this room a little bit just to have some more room. So I originally didn't have all of this space, but now that I do, and I did that so that we could have space to kind of move around and walk around and stuff. But now that I have more room, I'm like, let's fill it up. Let me see. Something like that. Maybe a chair. If I do, I might make it the blue one though. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's nice. Or maybe I should put that here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Again, I don't really want things to be like, I want things to be matchy, but like also not, because again, they have spent decades in this house, like probably 40 plus decades in this house, and there are things from all different eras, times. There's also hand-me-down things, probably from like way back from like Bertie and Al's family and grandparents and things like that, and some new things. So I just want it to be all eclectic family home. So I think that's it for today. I think we've done it, and thank you so much for being with me. Oh, one thing I did want to mention is that I am keeping the ceilings white, but I am doing them in this like textured kind of like ceiling. I don't know if you can see that. This is, I think it's just concrete, great gravel, and I put it in the white because I wanted it to be this kind of textured ceiling, because we have that here in the States a lot. And we don't have anything like that necessarily for ceilings. The regular just bright white didn't really cut it for me, but I've put that all throughout the house. So it's a small detail, but again, I like those small details. So yeah, I mean, that's it. So in the next few episodes, we'll be doing, the entryway, and possibly adding a powder room and the rest of the living room as well. So stay tuned for that. Be on the lookout for that. And again, I thank you guys so much for watching with me today and just hanging out with me and chilling with me today. There's so much craziness going on in the world, and it's just nice to have a place where I can just hang out with you guys and just chill and kind of just think about The Sims and cozy grandpa houses. You know, like sometimes we just need that spot to leave it all by the wayside. So tune in next time. I'll see ya. And until then, just keep yourself safe and happy and content. Bye.